Look at what Krampus left under my tree. 2 brand new horror packs. Well, by the time you see this, Christmas will have come and gone, but as I film this, it's Christmas Eve. I have my cup of wassail, and I just received this month's, December's, horror packs. So, as is my way, I'm going to open them up, and I will discuss the films as we go through and see what I've got. Let's go ahead and get started. Here's pack number 1. And here's pack number 2. Okay, let's start with this one. I can tell by looking at the sides that this is the DVD pack, so let's see what surprises we have this month. First up, The Lady in Black. She can never forget, it says. The description on the back says, "The nightmare is just beginning. Nelson has a vivid nightmare of a woman being murdered, only to discover that it was actually a premonition, and that he has witnessed the beginning of a string of serial murders. Now it's up to him to solve the disturbing mystery, pursue the serial killer to find out why his dreams are being haunted, and ultimately stop them from continuing their bloody killing spree." So the cover looks like a ghost story, but this also sounds like a serial killer story, maybe sort of a cross-pollination of different horror ideas. Should be interesting. Let's see what's next. DVD number 2 is Night Shift. The description on the back of this one says, "Amy is a young woman hired to work the night shift at a hotel made notorious by a gruesome legend. 10 years ago, the hotel was the site of a brutal mass murder. As her shift goes into the late hours of the evening, Amy realizes that not only is the story true, but that the killer remains on the grounds and still has a taste for blood. Trapped in the hotel with a vicious murderer on her trail, Amy must find a way to escape and save the hotel's guests in this terrifying thriller." Another serial killer story, but looks like an interesting one. Alright, let's see what's next. We have The Boat. Abandoned, adrift, not alone, it says. The back says, "A solo sailor finds himself locked inside the head of a sailboat which is on autopilot. Where is the boat headed? Why is it taking him? And will he survive the ordeal when it starts to appear like he isn't alone on the vessel?" Interesting idea. Sounds intriguing. Not one that I'm familiar with, but I've always liked horror that takes place at sea, so should be a good movie. And the last of the DVDs is The Music Box. "Evil things come in small packages" is the tagline. And the back says, "When 6-year-old Sophie is tragically orphaned, guardianship is assigned to her estranged aunt Annabelle. The two move into a large, eerie Victorian house where Sophie unearths a locked wooden box with a strange symbol drawn on it." Nothing good can come of this, I can tell already. When the music box begins affecting Sophie's behavior and health, Annabelle seeks the aid of a child psychologist and clairvoyant who soon discover the music box possesses an evil spirit seeking to haunt Sophie and destroy Annabelle. As the haunting intensifies, time begins to run out, and Annabelle finds herself racing against the music box's melody to defeat the spirit before the last note plays. I have to admit the description on this one sounds a little on the cheesy side, but at the same time it sounds like the kind of story that I particularly like. So I am, let's say, cautiously optimistic about this one. That brings us to the end of the DVDs. Let's have a look at the Blu-ray pack. And first up in the Blu-ray pack we have no title. It's called Z. I see there's a Z sort of in the blank space on the cover art. I'm unfamiliar with this. I recognize one of the actors on the back though, so that looks good. The description says, when Beth's son brings home an imaginary friend named Z, explaining the title, she becomes concerned that he is falling too deep into a world of make-believe. He starts to display extremely destructive behavior, blaming Z for all of his actions. But after he gets kicked out of school, Beth is forced to find a solution. She medicates her son, making him unable to see his imaginary companion. But now Beth sees Z, and he wants to be her friend. Interesting. It sounds like an interesting film, and despite my initial confusion, I actually quite like the cover art. I also recognize this actor, Stephen McHattie, who starred in one of my favorite horror films, Pontypool. So that bodes well, and I'm looking forward to giving this one a try. Next up in the Blu-ray pack we have The Conjuring 2. This continues a sort of theme that I've had over the last several months with these. I do already have a DVD copy of The Conjuring 2. I do not yet have the Blu-ray, so it seems like once per month I'm just upgrading one film in my collection from the DVD to the Blu-ray. I've already told you my thoughts about the Conjuring franchise, namely that though I dislike the Warrens, upon whose life the films are based, I do like the films themselves, so a worthy addition to my collection, a nice upgrade from my DVD. And next up from the Blu-ray pack we have Mother Krampus, seasonally appropriate. It says it's based on the myth of Frau Perchta, a witch that comes on the 12 days of Christmas taking children each night. I'm actually familiar, not as much as I am with Krampus, but I am familiar with Frau Perchta, also known as the Christmas Witch or the belly-slitter. So this is an interesting film to add to my collection. I know nothing about the movie itself, but I'm always interested in this sort of mythology around the many Christmas monsters that Americans seem to have forgotten until fairly recently with the advent of the internet. And finally, I believe the last one should be the HorrorPack exclusive. Yes, I see it is. It has the number 54 on the spine, and that is a Cadaver Christmas HorrorPack Limited Edition Blu-ray. The description on the back says, when a dark force takes over the morgue during the Christmas holiday, a ragtag band of heroes has to save humanity from the growing army of Walking Dead. This looks like a blast. I am actually going to look forward to watching this for part of my own Christmas viewing. Well, and that does it. Just like a Christmas present, I have 8 brand new movies to add to my collection. Only one of which I already had, in fact only one of which I have already seen, and that was The Conjuring 2. The rest of which look promising, including 2 holiday specials, so I am quite pleased with all of this, and I am looking forward to watching some movies. So, until next time, take care, and stay scared.